You know, you want to stop drinking, or you want to say, oh, this year I want to stop drinking. Reduce your alcohol content, or reduce the kind of sweet drinks that you take, or the fizzy drinks that you take. At parties, maybe you used to take one too many. Reduce them. Take lighter juices or take water. Begin to fine-tune your mind and tell yourself, this is how I am going to do it. In the same way too, when you say, this year I want to get a new job, the job is not going to come and meet you, right? And you can write 1,000 applications and still not be selected. What do you need to do to improve yourself, to get yourself, you know, shortlisted? So maybe you need to learn something new or retrain yourself. You know, maybe you're trying to do a career change in order to get that new job. You're going to need to retrain yourself. What do you need to retrain yourself in? Now, don't go and say you want to do a master's and never start. You might want to start off by doing online courses or long distance courses in tune or in line with that job that you want to get. Okay, there's no point in saying you want to you want to choose a particular profession, maybe banking and finance, for example, and you specifically now go and say, oh, I want to go and read accounting, or I want to go and read business admin, which is good, which is great, but sometimes you might want to do a professional qualification that will actually put you on a better level. You know, you might want to do the professional qualification, you know, slowly and gradually, long distance, that sets you on a better pedestal than somebody who has just the degree itself, you know. In the same way, too, you want to be a better friend. How can you be a better friend? You know, you might probably now tell yourself, once in a while I will call some of my friends. If they invite me to places, the ones that I can go, I will try and go instead of never going. You know, you want to be more polite as an individual when your friends are around. You want to be more friendly. You know, there's so many ways that you can do it. You might tell yourself, for instance, this year I'm going to reduce my stress. But guess what? You still do 12 hours a day, working round the clock. When do you rest? Stress is not going to go by itself. So you're going to tell yourself, okay, I will do my normal 8 hours a day work, do as much as I possibly can there. When I need to rest, I will rest, because the brain needs to rest.
Festus,
you know?
Festus says, he's saying Happy New Year to you, Janet.
Happy New Year, Festus.
He says his New Year resolution is to exercise more, but he will need God's grace to achieve it.
You see, and it starts with one step. Exercise more, you know, could, like I said before, you might not go for a walk. You might not even own a treadmill. You might just start by walking up and down the staircase if you have them. You might take 2 bottles of water, all right, as weights and start the exercise in there. You might do stationary exercising, which is up and down, lifting up. Your exercise routine is not cast in concrete. Start with the one that you can do gradually. My brother was a little overweight last year, and we kept telling him, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. I think when he was finally ready to lose weight, because it's a mindset, by the way, he took bull by the horn. He started exercising in-house. He got himself a mat, started doing floor exercises and weight exercises. And before you know it, 1 year down the line, I can't even recognize him. Because he said he was totally determined. There are so many things, or so many New Year's resolutions. For example, our favorite one, stop procrastinating. Now, how can you stop procrastinating? The thing is, you know yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. If you say you're going to do this, begin to set the time frame. Within the next 1 month, I am going to do this. If you say I'm going to do this, you're never going to start. You need to say, well, within the next 1 week, I must answer all these emails, I must do this, I must do that, and start gradually and make it a habit. The only way you can perfect anything in life is by making it habitual.
Would it be good to get someone that you're accountable to, or someone
absolutely,
that would
absolutely, somebody who could encourage you, and I'm going to talk about that sometime this month. Mentorship. Having a mentor or a coach can always help you be accountable for some of the things that you're setting yourself for in January, the goals you're setting out for. So your coach or your mentor will ask you if you've done some of those things, or you set your goals in baby steps. So for this month, this is the goal. Before the month ends, you're going to be accountable for whether you have done that thing or not. What about watching less TV and reading more? Now, you come back from work every day, the first thing you do is you plump right in front of the TV. Naturally, the TV is either on or you're going to put it on. Maybe at this point in time, instead of watching TV, get yourself a book. Get yourself something to read. if you don't like reading novels, start with magazines or read the newspaper for the day. You know, you have to wean yourself away from some bad habits. You know, I said, you know, learn, relearn, and unlearn. So those are some of the bad habits that you might want to do away with.
Someone I know said to cut down watching TV, what he wants to do, he wants to buy a music system and put it in the living room.
Yep.
So when he comes in, instead of putting on the TV, he's putting on the music.
Yeah,
and that way he'll force himself, because he needs to look at something, get a book.
Yes,
you know, just to move
it. Yes, you might, you know, other things that I also say that there's always an opportunity to give back. This year you might want to say, I want to volunteer more, you know, in your place of worship, in your association, in your organization. And that means if there are opportunities or they're looking for people to help, then say, okay, volunteer. Try and say, you know, sometimes we just look at people, everyone else volunteering, and say, okay, everybody's volunteer, let me just sit back. But be one of the first to volunteer. And, you know, there's always a reward when you're giving back, when you're helping out someone, you know, and it doesn't have to be money. It could just be a little bit of your time. Again, somebody wants to participate more. Again, that's the same thing with volunteering, all right? I've always been a back-seater, whatever. This time, be a front-seater. Or move your position from being at the back to the front. And don't be afraid of the front seat, because it doesn't bite. You know, some people always like to sit at the back, but move to the front. I always say, building your skills is a #1 thing. When I said I want to develop myself personally, this time I said to myself, I'm going to engage in more webinars. I'm going to engage in more, you know, little online courses, as much as I possibly can, to gain more knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
We'll have to go on a break, and when we'll come back, we'll round up on New Year resolutions. Don't go away. Welcome back. As Janet will say the acronym, New Year resolutions equals, what do I want to CSS? What do I want to CSS? Continue, stop, or start? Janet, as we wind down.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, what's your hobby?
Cooking.
Oh, nice. What's your hobby?
I like to meet people.
Great. So one of the New Year's resolutions could be to start a hobby. Find your talent, I would say. Find a hobby. I think for organizations, it should be to make more profits, earn more income. And how are you going to do that? Restructure, re-strategize. You know, have a plan for the year, and definitely have a budget, of course. And again, I was going to also say, another one is, right, you might want to write a book. How many times have we said we want to write a book? I would say, if you want to write a book, right now you have to have it part of your schedule of the week, time for writing, all right? Maybe once or twice in the week, you're going to sit down and write. That's the only way that's going to happen. Otherwise, it can never happen. You might want to be somebody who's a more confident person. Being confident means when I get to places, I will engage in discussion with people rather than sitting down by myself and looking at the walls. You know, you want to be a more polite person. So you're going to say your please, your thank yous, and all of that more often, so that people can see that you're genuinely, authentically a nice, kind person, you know. And, you know, it could be simple things like saying good morning to people, you know, or greeting people at the end of the day. But the truth about New Year's resolutions really is about improving yourself at the end of the day. That's what it is.
My question, how do you accommodate people who say, is it que sera, sera? Whatever will be. Do I need to plan?
Oh gosh, yes, that's a nonchalant attitude too. And again, it's about your attitude, your behavior. It's a mindset. So people who say whatever will be need to reorient their mindset. It's a paradigm shift. That's what it is. So it's a new year, new you.
Thank you, Janet. New year, new you. New year resolutions. What do I want to CSS? Continue, stop, or start? Thank you, Janet.
Nice. Thank you.
This year is going to be awesome. So we'll see you in a moment for the home stretch. Please don't go away.